flower friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you joined me. I actually have a treat for you today. It is the first week of July and I went to a local farm called Small Farm in Stowe, Massachusetts recently. At Small Farm, not only do they have locally grown fruits and vegetables, but they also have a gorgeous pick your own flower field. There's actually some political situations in South America, and due to those political situations, it's been a little bit difficult for florists in the United States to receive the normal shipments of flowers that they get. So today, not only are we supporting a local flower farmer, but we're also going to show you how to arrange flowers in a more natural way. There's so many great options for vessels these days. You may choose to look in your home and try and find a little glass pitcher, just like this one. Little mason jars are also a great option for farm fresh flowers. But today we're actually choosing this pale pink tinted glass vase. The biggest complaint I hear from my students is that when they're arranging the flowers don't stay put. So there's a couple different solutions for that. There's a flower foam, which is brand name is Oasis, and you can purchase that from your local florist or from Amazon.com. It's a good product, but it's not great for the environment, so I try to stay away from it as much as I can. We also have what's called a flower frog, which is this plastic pin-shaped device, and that will also hold the stems inside the vase. But today, since we're arranging in a clear vase, the flower frog won't work very well, so we're going to use our normal standby, which is the 1/4 inch florist tape. The other thing I suggest is to get your hands on a couple packets of flower food. Not only does it act as a preservative, but it also gives the flowers some nutrients while they're in the vase. Another key difference when you're working with farm fresh flowers versus supermarket flowers that you might get, or even flowers that you get from the florist, is these flowers have not been conditioned. So the best time of day to cut them is either early in the morning or late in the afternoon when the sun is not quite as bright. Farm fresh flowers are beautiful, but they do tend to get dehydrated a little bit faster than supermarket flowers. So when I'm at the field, I actually take a bucket filled with cold water and I plunge the stems in right away after I cut them. Now at the flower field, there were so many great options and I got a little overwhelmed, to be honest with you, but I decided to choose kind of a pale pink, blush, cream type of color palette. So that helped narrow it down a little bit. I have some beautiful marigolds here. I have a gorgeous burgundy Snapdragon, which is gorgeous. And then also I thought these neat little grasses would add texture and a little bit of movement to the arrangement. I don't even know if they were part of the flower field, but they were right on the edge and they're gorgeous. I'm going to use these as well. Now, to supplement my cuttings from the flower field, I decided to just go right into my backyard and look to see if I had some green things that would fill in as well. So this I just cut from one of my bushes in my front yard, which is gorgeous, has a nice sturdy stem and some pretty green leaves. And this product right here is mint, and not only does it smell great and taste great in water, but it also has a nice strong stem and will make a great little filler as well. And the last product that I got from my garden is actually this Hosta. And most people are familiar with Hosta because of the beautiful variegated leaves that it has, but I actually like to remove those and just use the buds and the flower, which will come out to be a light lavender, and those are great in arrangements as well. Now, the only caveat that I have with arranging flowers from your backyard or from the farmer's market is that you really should refrigerate them or keep them cool overnight. They really need to be conditioned in cold, deep water for several hours before you arrange them. So all these flowers that you see here were actually cut yesterday, as well as the branches from my garden, and kept in my flower fridge in a cool, dark spot overnight. Another way that you can tell that your flowers are ready to be arranged the day after is if you look at the stem. Now, if you look at the stem, it's very stiff, and you can tell that it doesn't have any blemishes. It looks strong and sturdy, ready to be put into a vase. The leaves look healthy and green. They're not spotted or anything like that. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I'm a big proponent of taping all my vases. We just find that taping really holds those stems securely in place, especially important for us for when we're delivering the flowers. If you look over my shoulder, you'll see a really beautiful arrangement that's orangey and peach with a little touch of yellow in there. And in that arrangement, we spiraled the stems. That's a technique that I'll show you in a later video. When you spiral the stems, there's no need for tape because the stems start to hold themselves together. This vase is beautiful, but it does have a wide mouth, so I decided to go with 4 strips of tape across and 4 strips of tape across the other side, and then one last strip right around the edge of the vase to hold everything securely. I like to run my finger along the edge just to make sure that all of those edges are nicely taped down. That water from the watering can has been premixed with the flower food and is cold. The first green foliage that you see that I'm adding in is the one that I foraged my yard. Now, if any of you know the name of it, please feel free to comment in the comment section below because I'm really not sure what it is. As I add the mint, you'll start to see that the stems form a crisscross pattern in the vase of the water below. And that's great because that will also help hold your flower securely in place. The first pink flower to go in is a gorgeous pink frilly marigold. The next 2 flowers to go in are light pink Scabiosa. The best part about working with the flowers from the flower farm is that you're almost forced to create an arrangement that's loose and undone. Each one is unique and one of a kind. I've always been fascinated by snapdragons. Their flowers open from the bottom of the stem and then work their way up towards the bud of the stem, which is kind of unique. The other thing that's unique about a snapdragon is, of course, its name. And if you squeeze the petals together very gently, it actually resembles the mouth of a dragon snapping at its prey. That next flower to go in is a very light pink yarrow. And yarrow is unique as well because it has all these little lateral stems, and those lateral stems can be used in a shorter vase. So you can use the large bushy part for this arrangement and then keep those laterals for a small bud vase somewhere else. It's only July here in New England, so I don't want to think about fall yet. I want to enjoy the summer as long as I can, but those grasses really do remind me of cooler weather. Most hosta plants need a bit of shade to do well, but they don't need a lot of water and require minimal care. Many florists like to use a turntable when they arrange flowers, simply because it allows you to see all the different angles of the vase very quickly. I decided to deviate a little bit and add some purple to the arrangement. As with all flower arranging, don't forget to remove the foliage on the stem and also change the water in your vase every other day. I decided to exercise a little bit of restraint and stop adding flowers to that vase, and I made a second arrangement for the small glass pitcher instead. And there you have it, a gorgeous fresh summer vase filled with flowers from the local flower farm. I hope you liked this tutorial. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel, like it, and share it with one of your flower friends.